Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Local Love Monday, brought to you by Emo Brown Media. Joining us today on this epic Monday episode, Barry Gisbera, 10-minute Barry behind the keyboards today, holding it down. Look at you. Fresh face as, well, not very fresh face.
One day is all it took for it to be 10-minute Barry.
There it is, yeah. Yo soy Steve Garcia, El Shams, alias, joining us today on the cancel couch, the homie Cesar Torres. Word of Torres for all of those who follow him on social media and are victim of his rants. Angry rants, bro, on a Monday, fool. Shit.
There's nothing angry about it.
Temper your attitude. We're here with greatness today.
Yes.
Temper yourselves. We're here with a local talent. Somebody who oozes musical talents from every digit on his body. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to let him tell us a little bit about himself. But just know, Bobby Cressey is here today, and he's here to blow your mind, knock your socks off, make all of your wildest musician dreams come true. There he is. Look at him, bro. Matchy with the hat and the shirt. Much love to the salmon-colored hood shirt right there, bro. Big ups.
Thank you, brother. You're looking good, too.
Thank you.
I didn't know we were going to be on camera today, so I'm glad I didn't roll out like a slob.
You look
You're just
good,
always
bro.
camera ready.
Yeah.
I like it.
You
It
look
pays
camera
to
ready.
be, bro. It pays to be camera ready, man.
Bobby Cressey, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your rise to stardom in here in the San Diego circuits, bro.
Man, it's
Real shit.
These streets, man. It's battle on these streets, you know. Man, well, you know, I do a lot of different things. I'm a piano player, keyboard player, producer, man of many facets. And it's a difficult question to answer. But probably what people know me best as is at least in this town, is the organist for the San Diego Padres.
There he is, guys.
Yes.
Look at that.
But, you know, that is a big part of what I do, and I love doing it. But it is not like everything I do. In fact, it is like actually 15% of what I do. But that's the nature of trying to make it in the 2024 as a musician. You need to have like many streams of income, irons in the fires, this and that, you know. But I'm down the Padres gig. People know me for that best. I love that. Like, that is definitely the most probably unique thing.
How
that I
exciting.
do,
Yeah,
you
there's
know?
only 30 positions available.
Yeah.
That's it. You
That's
know, you
right.
are one of 30.
Actually, I'm one of 15.
Not every stadium
Ish.
has that.
No, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
It's so crazy.
Why?
Well, it's kind of a strange little thing, man, if you think about it. I think they started doing the organ at the games like in the 30s or the 40s. The dude at like Wrigley, he's like, "Hey, let's freaking plug in an organ and see how that is." Because before that, it's not like they had a DJ. They didn't have that kind of like electronics. So it was silent. Those games, they usually were during the day because a lot of times they didn't even have lights.
No lights for evening games at
Right.
Wrigley.
Right, and especially at Wrigley.
Yep.
But back in the day, I would imagine like 70 years ago, a lot of them were day games everywhere. So anyway, they're like, yo, it would be cool, this silent, mellow, sleepy game. Let's see what happens with the organ. So they plugged it in, and like the rest is history. So then from there, the stadium started adding like, oh shit, they got an organ over at the Cubs. Like, what are we going to do? So they all like had an arms race, I think, with adding organists. But then what happened, and that became part of the game, and different organists would come along and develop like the role of what the organ does. And then what happened is it kind of came full circle, and then it was easy to plug in DJs. You know, fast forward a couple decades, it's like, oh yeah, we can just play real music through the speakers. And then some of these organizations thought, well, the organist is not quite as necessary now. Why do we really need it? Also, it's like it kind of fell out of fashion.
That's
like,
a bummer, though,
Yeah.
man, because you bring so much, I don't know, unique flavor to a ball game. Like, you're reading the crowd, you're reading the situation, and you're dropping a little nugget, a melodic nugget, you know, fit to perfection on what's going on, you know? I love that. I feel like that is a big component of a Padre baseball game now.
I feel that way. And I think that since the 80s, 90s, when it kind of went away, now we're a couple of decades removed from that, and now everyone feels the same thing. Like, yo, like actually that retro sound of the organ is a cool part of, an essential part of the game. And so some of the organists started to make a comeback.
Very
but there's
nice.
still not like every team doesn't have an organist, because, you know, a lot of the DJs, they'll have little cues, you know, and they'll just do it. Like
Danny
for
Flo,
free.
probably. Martillazo en el ano. Dude. That's what I would do if I was a DJ at the fucking stadium. You're not
And
familiar with
that's why
Danny
you're
Flo?
not. No.
What's going on with people not knowing who Danny Flow is, bro?
Not
This
getting the
is
respect he
this
deserves.
is-
Listen, you just taught us about some fucking German alt rock band last week.
the Antwoord?
No, I've heard of that.
Okay, so see, my musical taste is ridiculous, Bobby. I know and I appreciate music from all cultures and everything, but included in that genre of music, I have
terrible.
some weird ass music
Hey,
taste, bro.
I know that about you, and I love that about you. And 3 punk ales, bro.
Yeah, but even then, shit, this is crazy, man. Listening to Antwoord, there's some crazy South African trance, EDC, EDM kind of music, and then Danny Flow is Mexican reggaeton.
Oh, sick.
And then I appreciate an organist at a ball game. I feel like those are the things that my kids look forward to watching you, bro.
That's dope, man.
Anytime you go on the screen, they're like, "Oh, Dad, look, it's the." They call you the keyboard player. It's the keyboard player.
That's better than a lot of people come up and they're like, "Yo, it's the piano player for piano." Like, it's not a piano.
Mr. Piano Man.
Is it the piano player?
It's a piano player.
No, it's an organ. And I'm like, oh, it's an organ, actually. What's the difference? Like, I'm trying to work. I don't have time to explain.
What
this.
is the difference?
Oh, what's the difference? Well, the organ sounds like an organ. The
There
piano
it
sounds
is.
like a piano.
That'll put an end to that right now.
Well, it's funny because they're all
I'm
digital.
with
But
it.
the organ I play, there's like, they call them manuals, the keyboards. There's 2, right? And if you look at a big like pipe organ in a church, there's like sometimes 2, 3, 4, and then you've got the pedals, right?
Yeah.
So that's
That's intense.
Mhm. And you don't have to play those with when you're playing the organ. I'm not a trained organist. I am a pianist, a keyboardist. So the organ thing, when I got the Padres gig, I was like, I can do it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can play organ. No problem. But I taught myself how to play those pedals, and I still don't do a very good job, but don't tell anybody.
It looks awesome,
Your
dude.
secret's safe with us.
You talk about how every stadium doesn't have an organist. How did you get the Padres gig? That's a cool story in
Right.
of itself.
The Padres didn't have an organist for. Well, they had one. Okay, so when the history of Padres Oregon, the Crocs, when they first freaking opened up, like when the Padres came into being, Ray and Joan Kroc, Joan Kroc specifically, she's like, yo, this is like really sick ass organ player. Like his name is Danny Topaz. He's a local player. Cast your mind back to a different time, like the mid-century vibe. People of that generation, like. Everybody played music, piano. Like there's an organ in every house. So if you were like a dope ass organist, it's like you're like a celebrity, you know? And so she's like, we got to get him for freaking San Diego Stadium. And then Danny did. He played at Jack Murphy until
The Murph.
yeah, all through the playoffs. And then, so that the late 80s, he retired in the mid 80s. If you go watch those like 84 playoff games, like on YouTube or whatever, you'll hear his quirky ass organ playing in the background, and he's playing the whole time, and he's playing some gnarly rad shit. It's like, what the fuck? And some of these like space of like he's these weird sounds, like these like kind of space battle sounds and stuff, and it's all him, dude. Yeah, so it's a trip to listen to that. So he went away, and then through the 90s. They didn't really have an organist, but they brought a couple in, I think, for the playoff runs, like 98. I've heard different stories about the Diamondbacks organist came in to play some of those playoff games. The guy who's the Dodgers organist now, Dieter. He came in to play some of those playoff games. But then Petco opened up, and they just didn't go with the organist. I'm sure they had a freaking long list of things they had to deal with opening that stadium, like the organist kind of at the bottom. And they didn't have an organist. And then in 2010, they started a thing called Throwback Thursdays.
Okay.
You guys remember?
Yeah.
So Thursdays, they were going to wear the 84 uniforms, and they were all day games, and they wanted it to be like that old-timey feel. And so check this out. I was at must have been like FanFest or something, January of 2010, where, you know, there was just like a segment of fans, and they shoved them all into one or two sections. Okay. And they're talking to these fans in January about what they're going to do for the year. And then one of the things they said was like, and we're going to do a thing called Throwback Thursdays, and we're going to have a real organist. And when I heard that, I was like, yes, I have to have that gig. That's me. That's keys and baseball, like the intersection. I'm like, I know I'm perfect for that gig. You know, you've had that conviction, like, yo, I would be the person for this. I haven't had that feeling very much in my life, but sometimes you get it. You're like, yo, it's got to be me. So I went right up to him at the end. The guy who was talking, it was the CEO of the team. It was Tom Garfinkel.
Mr. Garfinkel.
Yes, sir. And I went right up to him, bro, because I could, and thank God I could. I was like, yo, do you have an organ player? He's like, no, I don't. I was like, here's my card. And then he handed it to this lady, my friend Karen Madden, who doesn't work for the team anymore, but her husband does. Karen Kawachi. Her husband is Ken Kawachi, who is like the operations like manager of Petco now. But handed it to her, and Tom's like, yo, give this to Eric about the organ player position. Right. So then I went home, and I was like, who's Eric? And then I figured it out. I started Googling that it was Eric Meyer. Do you guys know who that is?
No. I was going to say Grupner.
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good guess. I don't know. I mean, Grupner, I don't even know if he was in the organization back then. He might have been. He was, I think, a lawyer for the Padres before he was the CEO. But no, Eric Meyer, he's with the Padres a long time. And he's one of the few that's been there a long time. And he, at the time, he was like kind of in charge of the game day production, overseeing all of that. He's since moved up. He's like one of the VPs. And I'm so thankful for that dude, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today if he hadn't like got me this gig. But here's how it works. So like I Googled that Eric, and then I'm like, how do I like get a hold of this guy? So I looked at their front office, and there's not like numbers for everybody or emails. I picked up the phone, and there's one number for the whole front office, and I called it, and I was like, may I speak with Eric? And they're like, what's gonna happen? It's like, yeah, sure. And they put me through, and it goes to his voicemail. I'm like, okay, well, hey Eric, my name is Bobby. I gave my card to Karen a couple weeks ago about playing organ. I'd love to do it. Gave him my phone number. 2 weeks go by, I didn't hear anything. Okay. Wait, give it 2 weeks. Call again. Same thing. Left him a voicemail. Okay. Getting into February.
Persistent fella.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't want to let this go, man. So then I'm like, you know what? I need to make a demo. So I fired up my little thing, and I recorded like 20 little cues of literally each track. Bro, straight up. This track, it's like, it was a CD. I burned a CD, and each track was like, track 1, bah, 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 bah. Track 2, da-da-da-da-da-da. Track 3, blah, 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 blah. Like 20 tracks of that. I think maybe I put Take Me Out to the Ball Game on one of them, and maybe one of them was like Super Mario Brothers or something. Yeah. And then I've sent that in, like, you know, freaking snail mailed, and I didn't hear anything. Okay. And then, so every 2-3 weeks, I don't want to annoy them, but I don't want to like let it go. So I kept doing it. Now, all of a sudden, you know, every couple weeks from January, season's coming up. It's like March, late March. I'm like, fuck, dude, I didn't get this gig. Oh, well, I tried. And then I get a call like literally a week before the season starts. And it was Karen, the one who I'd given my card to. And she's like, hey, sorry, we've been like slammed getting ready for the season, but we need to like figure out who's going to be the organist. We'd love to have you come audition.
Very nice, bro.
And that's the way it works down there. I have come to realize, like, man, these people have so much going on. You know, you can't expect them to like.
How many people were auditioning for the position when you went?
Right. I didn't know. So let me tell you, like, I went down there, and they're like, oh, yeah, we don't have an organ, by the way. Okay, no problem. I'll bring a keyboard. I went down and parked in whatever the Lexus lot was called back then. I wheeled my stuff over, and she met me at the front office. I'm dragging this freaking case through the front office, up the elevator. Poof, poof. Next thing you know, I'm in the control room. There's all these people there. Have you been in the control room, Caesar? Yeah. Right. So it's like have you been in there?
No.
It's like a spaceship.
Okay.
It's like the Starship Enterprise. So, you know where it is though, right? Like if you look up and just the press box is on the left. So you look up and there's the retired numbers and the Jerry Coleman Broadcast Center.
Yeah.
The left is the press boxes. Then you look to the right, and the right part of that is one big open room. And if you look, you'll see all of the people doing everything for the game.
Very nice.
The producer, the DJ, Alex Miniak. And then behind him, people controlling all kinds of cameras and screens. It's pretty sick. And that's the people I work with. And that's the room I was in for this audition. And I'm like, okay. They plug my keyboard in, and they're like, yeah, we'll just put you up in the house. It was like a Monday morning or something, sprinklers on, and then just turn it on. It's like, bark, bark, reverbed out, huge sound. I was like, oh my God, like get goosebumps just thinking about it. Slightly nervous. And then I look at everybody, and then to my horror, I realize there's no like script for what's about to go down. It's not like they're like, oh, thank you for coming to this audition. We would like to hear the blah, blah, blah. They don't do this all the time. They didn't know
They didn't know what they were looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and these aren't people that audition musicians regularly. So I was like, oh shit, I've got to like come up with an impromptu presentation on the spot.
Ad-libs coming your way.
Yeah, bro. So I'm like, well, so how about this one? Looking at him, not much reaction. And I can also do this. Not much. how about a song? I started playing. I don't know. I'd like probably Super Mario Brothers or some other thing. To my horror, everybody's eyes, they start kind of like drifting off and start like working on other shit.
No.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? This is the worst day of my life, right? Yeah, they're all getting ready for the season, like cutting replays and highlights and whatever, because they're all at work there, and all those people weren't necessarily there to see me, but I didn't know the vibe. Oh my god! So I get through this presentation, and I'm like,
How long was it?
I don't know. It could have been 5 minutes. It could have been an hour. It probably was 15 minutes, maybe 10. And then I was like, okay, well, I kind of could tell it was winding down. And then I think Eric did test me on one thing. He's like, could you play? Sometimes you have to like stop on a dime. Like if I counted you down, could you stop a song? Why don't you play? And then he's like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And he's like, okay. It turns out that's like one of the most important things about that gig is being able to do that. And that was it. And then that chick, Karen, she's like, okay, well, let's go. And I'm like, that was the worst thing ever. And she's like, yeah, well, we might have a couple people we're going to check out, and we'll let you know by the end of the week. But I was for sure like, that did not happen.
She's playing it cool. I like that.
No,
like
I don't
Karen,
know. I don't know if it was playing it cool, bro.
Or just not knowing.
She's like,
I don't know, man. I really don't know. I think it was more than playing it cool. I think they were just not feeling me, but whatever. But maybe I'm wrong because I ended up getting the gig.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, that sucked. Whatever. At least I took a swing. And then a week later,
Sports reference.
got
Taking a
the
swing.
I got the call and she's like, hey, we've got some good news. They left me a voicemail. I was in like a rehearsal in LA. I got this voicemail. Oh, but I can't take it. We got some good news for you. Call us back. I'm like, oh, okay. So I called them back. They're like, yeah, we want you to be work. Hell yeah. So that was it. 2010.
2010.
And now it's 2014. It's been 14. This is my 15th season.
sheesh, man.
2020 doesn't count, I guess. So it's the 14th season. But
Now we'll give it to you.
bro.
He was
Congratulations,
He was
bud.
part of that
Sick.
early iteration that Dallas and I talked about with early Padres Twitter when it was still not a fucking dumpster fire.
Oh, yeah.
And all of us-
1.0.
Yeah, when all of us were still getting together. and
Padres Twitter
congregating.
1.0,
Yeah.
not
Fourth inning.
2.0.
Yeah, the fourth inning,
fourth inning meetups?
Yeah, but he was
That's
part
right.
of that when we were all rallying for him too on Twitter. Like, yo,
Old
man,
school, man.
you got to bring Bobby and you got to have Bobby.
Well, your catalog has increased drastically as just this last home series on a Sunday, I think it was. You started playing some Ramon Ayala, fool.
Yeah.
You started playing Rinconcito en el Cielo. I was like, dude.
He's had these in his
I was like,
repertoire.
my guy over here is
I played
just
Tregos
tickling.
Amargos.
Tragos Amargos? Shit.
Yeah.
This freaking guy.
Yo,
over
so
here, dog.
yeah, man. When I first and I've done more. So the gig started, and it was Throwback Thursday. It was literally like 6 or 7 games for the whole year, and I was pretty bad at first, dude. Like, I mean, I could kind of play the tunes or stuff, but just not very comfortable. And
When did they end up getting you your own, the one that they have there, that organ?
oh, so that what? That was part of the gig. They're like, by the way, we don't have an organ, and we don't have much money to get an organ. I'm like, okay, I got you. I'll take care of it. So, which I did, and then I'm going to thrift stores like crazy trying to find something that would work, you know. And I found like a pretty dope organ, like for the money. I was like, only $200. It was on Craigslist. Some of this fool in San Marcos. I'm like, yeah, that's like a pretty dope little like machine. Like we can work with that. For like we probably pay like $200 for it. And yeah,
Yeah,
and I hit up like, yeah, let's do it. So that's it. And so that was the one that I played. I had to do some like post processing on it. I put it through. Because it sounded direct, it sounded pretty dry and like whack. I don't know how much you know about like organ sounds, probably not much, but there's this thing called a Leslie speaker. Do you know what that is?
I do not know what a Leslie speaker is.
Well, it's this thing that if you look at like a Hammond organ, there's a big ass speaker and it spins, right? And that's what makes the organ go from just sounding like brr to sounding like wah, 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 wah. It gives it that fat ass vibrato.
A vibrato.
Right? So there's this little pedal that simulates that, and I put the Padres organ through that, and so it sounded like way more legit. And that's the organ that I played until 2019 when it just kept kind of breaking because it was old. It was from the 70s and it was out getting hammered in the sun every time I would play. It was not meant to be moved around.
Same
It's
thing
like
happens to
falling apart.
Steve.
Yeah.
Right.
You put me in the sun, things will happen.
He gets hammered in this.
It's hammered in the sun. So we had to replace it, but we actually kept, oh, there's a Leslie speaker. Yeah. So we kept the shell in 2019. We kept the shell of the organ. It's the one I play still, the same one, but we hollowed out the inside and we put like a much more modern organ, like Hammond keyboard, digital keyboard in there. So if you look at the organ, can you pull up a picture of it maybe?
Absolutely. Your specific one, or you want to just
10-minute
No, just-
Barry on the job, everybody.
I don't know. Maybe you could see it on if you find an IG. Actually, pull up any of those Instagram clips of me playing. But I don't want to hear it. Just mute it, please. But you'll see the picture of it. And so we took the old case for the organ, this old ass Yamaha. There it is, Yamaha organ from the 70s. Okay, and we replaced it. So if you look at that, that's a keyboard sitting inside a case. And they took the legs and they put those sick ass baseball bats on there. Yeah, isn't that cool?
That is
so,
awesome.
But that's the same one. In 2010, when I got the gig, that's the one I found on Craigslist. That shell, same one. We painted it blue in 2019. Then when I came back in 21, painted it brown.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
Painted brown.
And they moved you around a little bit too.
Yeah,
So you've not always been perched in that corner in the Western Metal Supply building.
That's since COVID that they put me there.
Yeah.
Before that, it was the huge tower. There's two huge towers, right? Two towers in front of.
Never forget.
Right. I was thinking more Lord of the Rings. Bro.
Yeah, fool. I felt the Lord of the Rings reference.
Yeah, bro.
You went straight.
I was doing Orthanc, and this guy was going
never
New York.
forgot.
Remember it.
Yeah, on the first base side. And so I was on the 300s, 311 was kind of my section. Yeah. And so I was out there, and it was cool because everybody could walk up to me. It was like out in public. And everybody could just walk up to me. I was on a little platform playing the organ. And, this is not something like the organ playing in baseball gig. It's not something there's a defined real script for. Every team does it differently. We talked about how only about half the teams even have an organist. It all just, and what they do in the game, it all just depends on what they figure out for that team. The Braves do it different than the Nationals, than the Yankees and the Red Sox. They all have different ways of doing it. So for us, we said, hey, we'll put the organ out. Because turns out, and this is kind of dope, he's like, actually, when we built Petco, we do have this input up here that we figured out would be for the organ. But they only got to use it now, finally in 2010. So I'm out there, and I'm in public. Everybody can just walk right up to me and talk to me. And at first I was like, whoa, that's kind of random. But it ended up being one of the sickest parts of the whole gig and kind of the key to one of the things that has made it work so well.
You have the view to the whole park.
I have the view to the whole park, but I get to kind of just be an ambassador and homie to people that walk up to me, and I love that. And it turns out that that's one of the most fun parts of the gig, bro. People will be coming. It's little family of three, wearing Minnesota Twins stuff or whatever, and hey, what brings you to Petco? Oh my God, we're visiting. This is so cool that you're out here. I have the same conversation thousands of times a year, but that was cool, and I would take a picture with them, and it would make their whole freaking experience. Because that's a unique thing to be able to talk to the freaking organist. And it's crazy. If you come visit me, and this fool has visited me many times, it's yeah, man, it's crazy what's happening with Natasha. Hold on.
Because you have to be in tune to what's going on in the game.
Yes, bro.
You have to make sure you know the lulls and the crescendos and everything.
I have one
going
job,
on.
and I better do it.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. So it's a tricky balance, bro, because even still, dude, even last Wednesday, I effed up. Oh my God, bro. It still happens. Striking that balance between being an ambassador, talking to people, making them feel welcome, having it be a party, and actually doing my job, what I'm there for, dude. And sometimes in the control room, they don't really realize. They're like, what the fuck, Bobby? Why did you miss your cue? Rightfully so, because I have one job I'm being paid there to do. But it's this person was talking to me, and these meathead.
This family from Lake Minnetonka was here. They're telling me.
It wasn't that,
They're
dog.
telling me about Kirby Puckett and fucking Prince
so
and
sometimes,
Pinchy.
yeah.
That's worth missing your cue for. We gotta
Is
be
it?
honest.
Maybe from their perspective, but the people in the control room are and they're right. So I'm a professional, and I can strike that balance, But if you come visit me, well, back then it was harder because, like I said, I was in public. Now I moved me to Western Metal, and now that thing up there, it's you need a special ticket to get up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's I wouldn't say it's a suite. It's bigger than that. Sometimes it's lots of different people buy tickets to there. Sometimes the whole
party
thing
deck.
is
Yeah, it's the all-inclusive area. It's the Western Metal Supply.
right.
The hot dog corner,
and
bro. All the beers.
Exactly, bro. And then sometimes one company will buy out the whole thing. Whatever. It's a different thing up there. Sometimes there's not that many people up there. Sometimes it's totally packed up there. But so you can't just come walk up to me anymore. So, which is kind of a bummer, but also it does make it that I can focus on my job a little more. But if the homies, if I see his tweet, if they come to 328, which is the section closest,
Right
and if I
next to-
look over and it's there's Caesars there or whatever, it's oh, yo, I can find a good time and walk over and say hi.
Do you watch the game strictly on what's going on down below,
Yeah.
or do you have like a little monitor kind of keeping track of what's going on?
Right. Yeah. So we did a monitor up there for a minute, but it ended up just being one more thing that they needed to set up. It was kind of hassle. It's easier to just have your eyes on the game. The only downside is where I'm at now, I can't really see left field because
It's right over it.
It's right over it. So if I walk to the edge, like I have to get up, walk over like a bunch of cords into that edge, and then I can look down and I can see everything. But that's a pain in the ass. But I'll do it if it's like, oh, maybe that if it looks like it's going to be a home run or something, you know. But then if it's a foul ball, I have to run back because that's when I play, is when we hit foul balls.
Look at that, dude. That's like best view in the
There
whole
you go.
park,
That's
there,
exactly
dude.
it, right?
That
there.
is awesome.
Isn't that's beautiful?
That's your office.
Bro, isn't that crazy?
your
81
office,
days out
dog.
of the year, that is your office.
Okay, but let's talk about that because that's not true.
Okay.
That's amazing how many people think that. And I can see why they would think that. I don't play every game.
Okay.
No.
Day games.
Yeah. So the day game thing. So Throwback Thursdays, they stopped that like after 2 years, but then they kept the organ and they kept it as a day game thing. And it has persisted as a day game thing. And gosh, like I wasn't even doing Sundays at first. And then 2015, they added the Sundays. And so I went from 7 games to like 20, 25 games. And now it's basically like, yo, I play anytime there's a day game or something special like opening day, which is usually a day game, but last year I ended up being a night game, and then I did all the playoff games, which was sick.
All the playoff games.
Yes.
So were you were there for the Blink 182.
Hell yeah, bro.
Look at you, bro.
Yeah. That was one of the highlights.
I was
bro.
gonna ask. Yeah.
Yeah. Were you either of you there?
I was there.
I was right
Yeah.
I'm
in
so
the
glad you
rain,
guys were there.
bro. In the rain.
Bro, dude.
with my kid out of everything.
I don't take my kids anywhere. Hell no. Especially with things that are fun.
I literally just saw you with all 3 of them last week at the game, dog.
But this was a Dodger Padre playoff game.
Oh,
there was no way I
bro.
was taking them with
Yeah,
us.
and it costs money, and you
Yes.
never know what's gonna happen.
Nope.
Gotta bring
Bro,
brass knuckles.
I'm with both of you guys, dude. Like my kids, oh my gosh, bro. My kids came to visit me at the game this past time, and it's like, what a pain in the ass, but it's a beautiful thing. But my son, he's getting up there, and he's like, no daddy's piano, no daddy's piano. I'm like, he's 3, you know? I'm like, oh, it's the one kid who like wants nothing to do with me. My son. He's
changes,
running around
brother.
like
That
a maniac, you know? So, you know, it's a pain. I get it. Taking your kids to a ball game, dude. Oh my gosh, I'm always impressed with the way this guy freaking takes care of his daughter.
As he should.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, bro.
When I was deciding to have a kid, my daughter's 5, you know, and Natasha's 10, and I'm like, I saw Caesar like freaking like raising this beautiful little girl. I'm like, man, that looks nice. Caesar can do it.
if he can do it, anyone can
A
do
great
it,
source
bro.
of
The bar is
fulfillment,
set
you know?
really low right there.
If Caesar could do it, I could do it.
This guy fucking figured it out.
You mentioned that there's not a organ player at every stadium. There's
Right.
roughly 15. Is there a brotherhood? Is there a network? Do you guys get together and like, you know, talk about your experiences as organ players for the Major League Ball clubs?
Yeah, man. So I would love to get everybody together. Who would bankroll that? We're all
Right.
poor organists, you know? Like we need, you know, some benefactor to like fly us all to a freaking Holiday Inn in Kansas for a week, you know? When we're not playing in the winter or something.
Let's talk shop.
Yeah, let's talk shop. Wait
This
for
is
workshop.
what works in the bottom
Yeah.
of the 6th.
Here's how you play outside.
This gets people hyped in the 3rd inning right here.
Have you thought about playing this? Bam, bam, bam. Oh, fuck, that's dope.
Sick.
Can you imagine? But kind of, though. So we have a secret society on Facebook, dude.
What?
Yeah, it's Sonata, which is the Sports Organist Network and Trade Association, bro.
Fucking sick.
Fucking
dog.
awesome.
That's awesome.
I want to learn to play the organ just to be in that, dog.
You're a master
Well,
organ
we have to
player,
jump
bro.
you in, bro.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, the organist for the Anaheim Ducks, Lindsay Amber, she created this thing, and I don't know how we all gravitated to it. First, I think some of us knew each other from Twitter.
Yeah.
So some of us have been on Twitter for a minute, you know.
Twitter.
Yeah, and so Josh Cantor, who's the organist for the Red Sox, and then Matthew Kaminsky, the organist for the Braves. They both have a really strong social media presence, and they've been on Twitter for a minute. And I kind of saw right away when I got the gig, I was like, you know, it would be cool to like. I got the gig, and I'm a Padres fan, you know. So, and that's the one thing. One of the other people that auditioned, I heard he was like, he might have done a good job, but he's like a freaking Dodgers fan. Okay, like,
This guy.
I mean, that kind of happens. Like the people in the front office, like you kind of happens. Like people go from team to team or whatever. But as the organist, it's like, come on, dude, like be a fan of the team. So,
You're injecting
Right.
into the spirit of the game.
It makes it way easier.
Yeah.
What was he going to do in that playoff game? Fucking throw his organ over the top and just get
Lord.
upset?
Right.
Come
Yeah.
on, guy.
Exactly.
Walk out.
Control
wouldn't be able
yourself,
to handle
Oregon
it.
players.
Why are you scowling? This is the best moment in franchise history.
Playing all fucking Morrissey up there. And just
Dude, the LA Dodger organist just had a nice little viral moment.
Yeah. So he did, and he's dope. So that's Dieter Rule. He's
for
he
the
was-
Kings, too.
Yes, he was the organist for the Kings for a long time, since like maybe the late '80s, early '90s, and then he did the Lakers for a long time too. And so he's like the LA sports organ guy.
Family of 5, possibly burning alive in the parking
Yeah.
lot.
my favorite
Meanwhile, the
clip.
Dodger organist.
That's
We didn't start the
That's
fire.
amazing, bro. Dieter's he's sick. And so if you watch Dodger games, I'm sure you have. You watch Padres games at Dodger Stadium, they have that organ cranked, bro. Because what he does, Dieter's like he's kind of the DJ and organ kind
Okay.
of combination guy, I think. So, and that's like I said, it's different at every stadium. And this dude has like 40 years of experience doing this. So he controls his own level. He's like, I'll be loud, and he's at every game. So he plays so often.
And he's nonstop playing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
he'll just
yes.
start, like you said, they'll splice some music in there, but then he just kind of picks
It's
up and
mostly
keeps
him.
it going.
Yeah.
And the dude is so in tune with like what's happening in players' personal lives
I feel
and
like
shit.
you have to. That's
Yeah,
that
man.
is an attribute to have if you're going to
Yes.
be involved with the team.
Right.
Because you got to know exactly, hey, what is Jake Cronenworth like? Oh, this fool likes this. Let me play
Yep.
some T.I.
Yeah,
Oh, this guy likes that. Oh, let me play some of this.
There's been times when guys have gotten like new contracts or they're in contract disputes, and he'll like play songs that are catered around,
Floyd
like,
money.
Yeah, pay me the money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly,
Like
exactly.
This guy's
The
just
A's roll into town, and he played like Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah, he's really good at that. And so I'm not there every game, and so like I feel like that's part of my. I'm always trying to improve that spontaneity. It's easier if you're there every time. You like just to be easier with the flow. For me, every time I'm there, it's been like 15 years now, so I'm pretty comfortable. But the more you do it, like the better you get at it.
Over the 15 years you've been there, obviously the attendance has increased significantly compared to 2010,
Yeah, bro.
compared to 2015. As soon as the Padres brass started extending some contracts out and signing some of these notable players, the crowd came and supported. That must make, as a musician, you must love playing in front of the attendance. That's where it's at right now.
I do, but it's more as a fan than as a musician, dude. Like the way I view my role there is like I'm a fan that just happens to be sitting at the organ, dude. That sounds like a cheesy thing to say, but it's freaking true. Like it's actually one of my ways that I also combat like stage fright, which I've always struggled with a little bit, like performance anxiety, like.
Try a Blue Chew.
Like, I don't want to stop. Yeah,
this moment is brought
game's
to
over.
you.
Yeah, I've got like 3 more hours in me.
Extra innings, here we come.
Take that 10-minute Barry.
His fingers get too stiff to play.
Damn.
Oh shit!
The
Hell, I
guitars
gotta
were
go see
not
a
a
doctor,
doctor,
bro. So the way one of the ways that I can like settle into that gig and have the best time is like, yo, everybody's here. We're all in like the same kind of vibe and having a party. And I just happen to be the one like sitting at the organ, bro. Yeah. And it's so dope. And that helps me a lot with also like, encountering fans. Everybody's like default in a good mood at the game, bro. And so some people talk about how like, oh man, everyone's like an asshole. It's like, what are you talking about? Even a Dodger game, like, oh man, freaking Dodgers coming to town. That sucks. Like I get that, and it sucks when they're cheering like, oh, fuck, like Mookie hit a home run, and now everyone's cheering. Ugh, like that's aggravating. But like, just encountering your fellow man, it's like, we're all here to like have a good time, dude. So it's a party. Have fun, dude. So if I think of it as all having fun together, it's 40,000 people. It is fun to be playing for 40,000, 45,000 people watching a good team as opposed to 3,000 people. Well, it's never 3,000, but I'm talking about like say like a 19,000. Say you got like 18,000 on a Wednesday against the Marlins in May of 2011.
The culture has changed, man. Because when we first started having season tickets, we were in right field, and it was like 2010. It was Brian Giles is in the outfield. Like it was just super quiet. There was no cheering. You could literally hear the hecklers in the crowd.
Yes.
Like, and there was no nobody there to stop it. It would just be like, oh man, they're heckling this guy, and nobody's gonna stop him. And
You could hear it on the TV
Yeah.
broadcast.
It was like
awesome.
in terms of like the Padres and like the zeitgeist of San Diego, it was the lowest point of the whole time. And it's because we all know why. It's like, those teams like Well, you know what? I'm thinking as I speak, like those teams weren't very good. It's like, well, actually, like 2010 team was low key good. Like we had, I mean,
Jake Peavy.
well, Peavy was gone by then, but
Was
we
he?
had, but he was 07, and that was fire. But we had-
Cardinals series were always depressing.
yes, 05, 06, those Cardinals. And I still have. When we beat them in the 2020 playoffs, I was like, we can actually
There it
do
is,
this.
yeah.
I thought it was like done deal. We could never do it. But we had Adrian Gonzalez, and I was like, man, that fool's pretty good. And we like almost
He looks
made
good
the playoffs.
in a Dodger outfit.
Oh gosh,
He's not the pride of Bonita then?
No, sir.
not anymore. There you go. No, rest in peace. Him and Mario Lopez, they can
Our
both just
very
hang
own-
out up
yeah,
there. Dude. They can just go stay in LA.
I
bro.
get so much shit, bro. It's like, why don't you guys give Adrian Gonzalez as much shit as you do for Mario Lopez leaving Chula Vista and heading up north? I said, that's not our game, dog. We don't get involved. I was always Team Zach anyway.
All right, there you go.
Preppy.
No, it's obnoxious, bro. Like the whole like San Diego small town resenting LA mindset. People make a big thing of that, but it's obnoxious when people come from your freaking hometown and then they like claim another. And it's one thing to like make a career in LA. Certainly, I get that. I lived in LA. That's where my music career started. There's certain ceilings that are much higher that don't exist down here. The other way around. You can go further in many things in LA. I get why you have to go up there to do that, but then to just kind of like claim like, yo, LA's in my blood and stuff. Like Adrian's talking about like always wanted to play for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you grew up in the area of some sick ass Padres teams, you know? So that's just obnoxious when they kind of disown San Diego, unless they like.
They are who they are.
Yeah.
Barry. To this day, Matt Holliday has still not touched home plate.
And he's acknowledged it.
And then doesn't
Did he
his-
finally acknowledge
Yeah,
it?
he's acknowledged it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Isn't it like when Bud Black got that Rockies gig? Like somebody
Man,
asked him
Jeremy
about it.
Hart.
Was it him that they asked? And he's like, yeah, and he's trying to be like total Rocky stan, but he's like, no, but he still hasn't touched it, man. So it's like everybody, it's an open thing.
Cressey, you have a top 40 band.
Yes.
Where can people find you? Where are your gigs? Where do you go?
They are at Wealthy Weddings and Corporate Events.
As they should be.
Yeah.
As they
if you
should
want to
be.
sneak it, if you want me to sneak you into Rancho Valencia or freaking, I don't know, like Grand Del Mar.
Ooh,
Yeah,
say
we can
less.
go check that out.
This guy, man.
Mighty Untouchables.
That right there, that's actually in El Cajon. That's a concert in the park right there.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
I went there with,
So we do a few of those.
with Rero.
And
Rero.
Ricky Rowe.
We do a few of these every year, kind of just for fun, but those aren't really money makers. That's like kind of let our hair down a little bit.
Yeah.
And to just get to hang out and play for the adoring public, you know. But the top 40 band, yeah, man, that's my, when I say like the Padres is one thing that I do, the Padres is really like 15% of what I do, maybe. Like, I don't know, by time, by income, however you want to cut it. I mean, it's a huge part, and I love it. And, dude, I love being the Padre. I love being known for that. And the goals organist, and then when I play for the Sockers. That is dope. It's dope being, like, the guy in town that gets to do that. But that,
SDFC is going to come a knocking soon.
oh, yeah, the old outdoor
MLS
soccer
team,
organ.
yeah.
No, dude. I wouldn't. Soccer organ's weird. Even when I did it for the Sockers, like, it felt strange, and there's more of a precedent there. It's an arena sport, so there's an organ, but even still, like playing like fucking dun 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 in the middle of a soccer game felt a little unusual to me. But yeah, I can't imagine that for an outdoor team.
You better
But-
get up to speed with your Mexican reggaeton bands, bro.
Up to speed when I'm already.
Danny Flo.
Danny Flo.
Oh, dude,
He doesn't know Danny Flow. He's out of the suite.
all my Mexican music knowledge and appreciation, it's kind of rooted in like 80s norteña and 90s norteña. and
My
stuff like
guy,
that.
dude. Look at you.
Yeah, dude, it's like Tigres del Norte.
Uh-huh.
That is my.
That's your play
Yo,
La Puerta
La
Negra for
Chona.
us next time,
Oh,
bro.
I'll sing it for you right now, bro.
No, but when you're actually on
He's
the
done
organ,
that too.
Yeah.
Bobby used to have a request line that you can.
Really?
You can tweet me. Yeah. But I can sing it for you right now.
I'm ready.
A little bit. Let's see. Wait, hold on.
Ah.
I'm getting my stage. No, just stay there. Is my stage friend.
Right here.
Y está cerrada con tres cantadores.
Oh my guy.
Y remachada la puerta negra. Porque tus padres están celosos y te miran que yo te quiera.
Is he,
Yes.
is he invited to the carne asada?
He
Seems
brings
in love
me-
now.
That's
he
my
brings me,
ticket.
dog.
That's my ticket, bro.
That are rolling skill.
Do you
bro.
like that?
That was
I sound like
impressive.
a ranchero, bro.
You
I'm
sound
going for it, dude.
like ranchero queso
as
fresco.
a mimic.
You sound like that, homie. We're getting you there.
That's how I get in with the Mexicans.
You're in with us, bro.
Thank you,
You're
dude.
on with.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I was in like 2007. I'm touring with a reggae band, and the guitar player, he was from Guatemala. And so, but he loved also that music, and I don't speak Spanish. It sounds like I might, but
That's
I don't
weird.
really.
You could have fooled me.
I know.
He sings Spanish.
I speak Spanish.
Nice.
But he's like, yo, you need to check out like Tigres del Norte. And he would play it and sing it for me. And I just kind of thought like, this is kind of dope. Like if I can like learn the lyrics of these songs, come to find out, you start analyzing the lyrics to these songs. Like this fucking stories of heartache in the border. Like this is some serious shit.
Yeah, fool.
Yeah. And it's like, I appreciate and I love that. Like,
It's amazing what Google
dude,
Translate can do for you.
Like, en la puerta de la iglesia llora un niño, su interior una boda celebraban. You know that one?
I do, man.
This fool is on the doorstep
Of
and
the
his
church.
dad is leaving his mother
Yeah.
who's dying. Está mi papá, mi mamá están muriendo. Like, my mom's dying. My father is, Debbie dad is remarrying inside this church, and that's
moving
my dad
on.
in there.
Yeah,
That shit is
he's
heavy,
totally
bro.
moving on and leaving the kid there. Yeah, bro. I'm telling you.
Hey,
I don't
our
want
music,
you to squirt any tears over here.
our
fool.
music gets into the feelings, dog.
Yeah.
It
Why do you
gets
think
in there.
Mexicans love Morrissey so much?
That's interesting. Not a fan.
Not this Mexican.
Yeah, we're like the 2 out of 10 that don't.
Isn't he like mad canceled? Morrison?
Has anyone canceled anymore, Cressey?
Yeah,
Is anyone? Everyone's come back. Everyone's come
you
back.
just keep hanging around, and then
Everyone
you
forgets
out-
and moves on
they
to the next.
resubscribe.
one.
That's actually really
what inspired the Cali native?
Oh, my album in 2017. Yo, so as a working musician, there's a difference between being a working musician and being an artist, right? And sometimes musicians will spin their wheels and not kind of understand the distinguish like what the difference in that, and they might be very frustrated. Not everybody's cut out to be an artist, bro. So, and that was never really my thing. Like, I'm not gonna get up and like lead my own band and like to glory, like to make money. Also, as a trying to put food on the table, like one of every how many people will actually make it as an artist? No, but there's a lot of paths in music. Mine was always as a professional keyboardist. I wanted to be a studio musician.
Studio musicians.
Yes,
oh,
bro.
Yeah, man.
So I could play in any style
Yep.
from a very like young time in my career. I was like, that's gonna be my thing, bro. I want to be able to play with perfect time, the perfect part for any style. And I love that. And I would like proud to say, like, I would be one of the people in town you would call if you needed something for any style. Like, that's what I love to do, bro. And it's the spice of life too. I love being able to do different things, bro. I can go play a Padres game and then I can go like help somebody, like I can go cut a record like on organ, and then I can go play a classical piano, and then I can go do like a heavy jazz gig in town. It's like I can
Pop
do all
into a
those in one day.
quinceañera, tickle
Yeah.
some of those ivories.
That's
do some
right.
Tigres del Norte. Look at you, man.
100%, bro. Like, or play some salsa. So my top 40 band, my drummer, he used to play timbales for Celia Cruz.
Oh, really?
So he's one of the baddest, like, kind of-
Carnaval.
yeah, we play that. Dude, we slay that song. Bro.
Yeah?
Yes, we slay it. I'm not even kidding, dude.
Slay
We
Queen.
fucking murder that song. And yeah, he's so sick, bro. But I love it because it's like being able to play all these different styles. That's what blows my skirt up, bro. If I had to just be in like a salsa band, like I'm probably not good enough because those are bad cats, but I can do it a bit. But then like the next day I'd be like, I want to do something else. It's like food. I always say it's like food. Like I love Chinese food. I want to eat Chinese food every day.
You're having the wrong Chinese food then.
I always want more.
He's gonna tell you you're gonna go Hong Kong.
But then you don't get to eat like fish tacos and you don't get to eat freaking pizza. It's for me, music is the same.
Nothing motivates me more than music. Nothing gets me more passionate about anything than music. Music has always been like a big component in my life. So when I see other musicians who are super talented, I just like with BJ or yourself, I'm always like just paying attention, watching. How do these guys act? How do they do this? Because I gave up at 25. I was like, all right, if this isn't my career, I'm not going to spend any more time just kind of like staying in the same place.
Investing and going down that path.
I'm done. If nobody's matching the energy and the want that I have, I don't want to be a part
That's
of it.
tricky too.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm kind of talking about. And he asked about Cali Native, bringing it back to that. I kind of knew like relatively early on, like, yo, I'm not the fool that's going to be up on a stage like. What even playing keyboard? I don't even sing. I mean, although I just gave you a masterful norteño serenade, but
Hell yeah.
Guys,
but I don't.
exclusive.
I'm not the freaking front. I'm just not the front man. This is what's in your DNA, what's not, bro. I just not, bro. So, But I'm like, I still want to like, so I'm a professional musician working around town. I'm like, there's some dope ass musicians in town, some of the best jazz musicians. I'm like, I need to like just put an album of original creative content out there for myself, basically like a vanity project.
Yep.
And it was 2017 before I had kids, and I knew kids were kind of like on the horizon. I had my daughter in 2019, but I was like, there's a few things I need to kind of take care of now before that. So in 2017, I rounded up like 20 of the dopest people.
Heavy fucking hitters.
And I wrote,
man.
it's the heaviest people in town. Like, and I wrote tunes kind of based on each one, and it was cool. I was like, budget, like, fuck budget. Like, I'm gonna pay for this, dude. Like, I'll pay them. They'll hook me up with a homie rate, but at the same time, I'm not gonna like ask for favors. Like, kind of a combo, like bro deal, but I'm still paying you because it needs to be on my schedule time. 2 days in the studio, each tune, like 4 tunes a day, like very specific lineups, and it was so sick, bro. Because so I'm like, okay. The concept will be, even though I play piano, I'm like, the concept will be like organ and like funky ass horn section, big funky ass horn section, organ, and each tune will be kind of a different style. So I was like, okay, my homie Omar plays bass for the Wailers. Do you know Omar Lopez? Do you know who that is? He was in Chula Vista.
Yeah, he sounds super. Did he put B-side players as well? Yeah, that's
yeah. He's a super homie of mine, and he's.
We've had some drinks at the brew a couple times.
He's a Chula Vista cat.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites, bro, and he's a
Talented guy,
super,
dude.
He's insanely talented, bro. He's got a lot of kind of musical superpowers. Like, it's funny because
He levitates while he plays.
Yeah. Well, you know, every musician, it's like an action. I would say it's like the back of the action figure. They have the different stats: speed, stamina, skill. Like, and you can learn to assess musicians for like what they're good at, what they're not good at. Right? You know what I mean? It's very rare to get the action figure that's like 10 out of 10s in all of them. The people that are 10s in all of them are like the fucking top touring like Eric Clapton's band or like fucking Beyonce's band. But Omar, one of his superpowers, he plays fucking one of the best salsa players in town, one of the best reggae players in town. He also happens to be one of the best readers. He can sight read anything. So when I need a sub in my top 40 band, he's reading fucking 16 notes. Like, no problem. Do you know how hard that is?
Ridiculously hard.
Shit is crazy.
And he does it
so
flawless.
good at it. Yeah, and he's sick. He's just also looks dope. He's a good hang. I love that guy. So anyway, I'm like, I'm gonna write a reggae tune for Omar, and then my boy Corey. They've never played together. Corey played drums for the Agrolites for years, and I used to play ska with Corey for years. So he's one of the best like reggae drummers in town. Like, hook them up, write a tune around it. Sick.
Boom.
Next tune, like all these heavy ass fusion cats like that. Scream, like play just shit ton of notes and fucking shredders to the max. But there's this older guitar cat that these fools have never played with, but I played with him, and I got to bring him in, unite them, wrote that dope ass song. My boy Mikey, who plays, like I said, he played with Celia Cruz. I'm like, I'm gonna write a fucking cha-cha for Mikey to play on, and bring in a good conguero, and it's like, now I have a dope ass cha-cha. That's the way I approach
Willy
my
Wonka shit, homie. You were over here just
was
creating
so fun.
things.
Well,
I
think
love
about
that
it.
album, man.
You get to pick your favorite people and like write a song about it. It's very indulgent to be able to do that. You know,
Very
I'm not
nice.
trying to satisfy any like commercial. There's no label or anything like that. I'm like, I'm doing this fully for me, and so that was really fun. It was very fulfilling. I wrote those songs like fucking. It kind of freaked my wife out because she's like, whoa, like every day I'm waking up like writing music. And then going to sleep and then waking up and writing music all day. She'd never really seen me in that mode. And yeah, I was like, this is what I would be doing all the time if I wasn't married to you.
Yeah. That's
Tough
reality.
conversation.
Yeah.
Tough conversation.
That's a conversation for another time. It's like, that's the way, the sacrifices we make when we're married, you know? But it's cool. So I, at least for those 2 months, I did that. And then we recorded it. And then I still had my CD release. And like, that was that. And that was fucking sick. And now it's like, I'm so stoked I did that. Even though like, it was never going to like make money. I mean, I put it up on Spotify, and I hawked a few CDs, and I had a release show, but
Personally satisfied.
Yeah.
That was
bro.
Natasha's
Check the box.
first live music at Panama
that's
66.
freaking crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
watching your CD release.
November
party.
of 2017, man. So she would have been like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
That was
She
so
still
fun.
has the CD.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
What's a CD?
CD's nuts.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, man.
Bobby Cressey?
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
Dude, thanks for coming in here and just, telling us your story.
Yes, sir.
This ain't the last time. We're gonna
Yeah, I was
be in
gonna
your ear
say,
to bring you back in. And
Yeah.
just
I still
whenever.
got 3 more hours, remember? What's in this, fool?
What's in this beer? No, man.
It's not a beer at
It's
all.
It's
Got
a
a
pleasure to see you at Petco on the jumbo screen, in your perch on top, overlooking the field, and then to have you here in our studio and just hear about all your conquests and everything. That's awesome, man. Congratulations on everything you've done. We look forward to having you on the show more and telling us about all the great adventures.
I
love
appreciate you
music,
guys.
fool.
We haven't even done the Demosley.
I
No,
love
man.
music.
Next time. No, I appreciate you guys, man. This is a very cool thing that you guys are doing down here, and I'm very proud to freaking know Caesar and now know you, and is fucking sick. So keep grinding.
Friends forever.
Yeah, for sure.
We should get him on the
What are you
999
doing that?
challenge.
You brought it back to Zach Morris.
Zach Morris, bro. Spano is my
If you
man.
see me at Petco, don't act like you know me, please, dude. Fuck. No, just hit me up, dude. I'll maybe get you some nachos or something.
Hey, play Stairway to Heaven, bro.
Yeah, whatever you want to hear, dude. Yeah. Stairway to Heaven.
Oh,
That's my life is dealing
What
with
is your
stupid
favorite
ass
song actually
requests.
to play when you're there?
Not Stairway to Heaven.
No
I don't
stairway
know, bro.
denied.
Fuck. I like to change it up. I don't have one favorite, but I do like doing the 7th inning stretch, bro. That's so fun, bro, because they put me up there and everybody sings along. That's fun. I got my little point to the camera,
Yeah, you do.
where is it? Right there.
He's
And
got
then I
to
do
boom.
move.
this.
He's got to
Boom.
move every time.
And then it keeps going like this, and I'm like, they better get off me before I actually kiss the camera. Yeah, that's it, man.
Barry, any questions for Bobby before we wrap this up with the Uber talent?
We got into the band, but I want to know too, is there going to be another solo release coming out? Is that another thing that you're thinking about?
It's always percolating in the back of my mind, but it's really not something I have time for right now, man. So what would happen if I tried to actually wake up and do that right now? I have a 3 and a 5-year-old. I struggled with this more 2 years ago than I do now because I've learned to deal with it with the kids. If I try to get super into the creative mode of something and then 15 minutes in, I have to take my daughter to this, or my wife's saying where the F is breakfast, this that. It rips your soul out to the point where it's you get so dark about everything. So it's honestly better to not try. I'd rather not try to write and go deep into a creative space trying to create the next whatever Cali native right now, when I know that I will just be, my life is just all about my kids right now, and that's beautiful. And rather than me resenting that I don't have time to do this artistic stuff because of them, I would rather just set it aside and maybe develop the chops to be able to do it in an hour here, an hour there. It's not the indulgent 2 months of doing it solid, but those days are gone, and I've learned to come to peace with that. And my life is much better for having a family anyway. It's I've leveled up in spiritually and everything about this life. So, but right now, no, I don't have the self-indulgent, luxurious time of being able to freaking dive in and write something.
Barry just wanted to get on the album.
Well, we
No, because I'm in the same boat. I have transitioned. I was more on the artist side. I
you
wrote a
transitioned.
shitload of fucking original music, and then decided I want to make money and start doing some cover gigs. And then the kid came and the family and everything. So it was
It's a
I'm in the
difficult
same
bridge
boat
to
where you got
cross,
to balance
man.
all that
Yes.
shit.
It's
And
a
I'm do I
difficult
give
bridge
up,
to cross.
More
It
of
is.
the cover stuff now, so I go do more of the original stuff because I still have that fucking pull all the time. I should be writing a song right now. What the
Right.
fuck?
Well, write it
Walking
then,
that
fool.
line.
Shit.
Oh,
have
but
been.
if you don't have time, it's tricky, bro. That is the artistic balance, and you have to make some choices. And I've thought about this a lot, because the great artists, they don't compromise, and nobody really talks about this. It's okay, Quincy Jones, super dope. Okay, 2 marriages. Miles Davis, okay, history of abused chicks and kids that he's estranged from, in full service to his art. That was his choice. Is it right or wrong? Well, do we want to look at it through that lens? They made contributions to the world that humanity's better off because of this, but because of his many albums and how prolific he was. But for me, I've chosen that my family is more important than my album, or doing that, or going up to LA, or getting into scoring movies and 12-hour days of doing that. And fortunately, I found a balance that is sustainable, at least for now. A cover band that doesn't take a whole lot of time, because it's it is the best cover band in freaking Southern California, because it's all kind of monsters in it, so we can just come to the gig and slay whatever, but it's not we have to be in rehearsal or that's taking a lot of time when I'm not doing that. I can just go do my gigs, and then when the gig's over, I'm mostly done, you know, and I can be with my family for a long time.
And you still get to score MLB The Show, so come on.
It's been a few years, bro. But yeah, I mean, I did do the organ stuff for that. That was really dope. But it's been a few years. I mean, I did all the organ music for MLB The Show. I did it twice. I did it 2013, and then in 2018, I did a bunch more for them. So I haven't done any more for them since. But
Are they using the same pieces?
Exactly.
All right,
Yeah, exactly.
Very nice, man.
yeah, it's pretty dope. So
I listen to your score at least 4 times a week.
Big fan.
big fan of your work. Very
nice. There you go. I'm in your life more than
And
you realize.
Miniac does the voiceovers,
Yes.
right? Or am I tripping? Yeah.
It's pretty sick, bro. Yeah, it's because they make the game in San Diego. You
Diego.
guys know that, and that's why it's. I mean, you're trying to wrap up, but it is kind of a funny story. Like in 2012, 13, I'm playing the organ in my old spot, and all of a sudden, like these 5 nerds like materialized to the side of me. I'm like, who are these guys? Like black polos, whatever. They have these little credentials. Like, hey, we're from MLB The Show. Nice to meet you, Bobby. We like your work. And then I'm like, okay, I met them all. And then they're sending me an email like, yeah, we want to get your freaking organ music. And I was like, wow, this is so sick.
In a video, that's so
Yeah.
fucking.
And those guys are cool. But they don't need me to redo it every year. Unlike
If they,
Miniac,
like,
who has the
animated
Kush
him in the
gig. Miniac gets to every year like do his voiceover thing.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll have that bad man in here soon as well.
He'd be down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we chatted a couple times at Bottle Rocket and
Okay.
then over at Rabbit Hole, and we just need to.
Basically, we've been getting him drunk. To
That's a
convince
good
him to
idea,
go-
bro.
Hey, it took us 2 years. I just need another year with him, and we'll be
Yeah,
we'll
no,
be
you
fine.
can do it, man. He's an interesting guy, man. I love that guy.
He sounds good people.
Jordan Carruth is also involved with MLB.
Some
The Show.
guy named Jordan. I
Yeah,
don't
man,
know.
that's right. He is. I haven't
Yeah.
talked to Jordan in like it's like 8 years, but I know that he moved over there. I've sent him a congrats like little message.
MLB
when
The
he
Show's a
got there.
powerhouse, man.
Yes.
That's going nowhere,
And that's in our city, so yeah,
Yep.
we make the most of it.
So dope.
as we should.
Yeah, sir.
Bobby Cressey, where can people find you?
At Bobby Cressey, BOBBYCRESSEY. Yeah, it's easy because there's not a lot of Cresseys out there. So Bobby Cressey, like Steve Garcia. Man, I thought he was so. It's like
Garcia.
Garcia, please.
okay.
Wait.
Sorry. My bad. Yeah,
Awesome,
so
man.
Bobby Cressey everywhere, man. If you find me there, I've got a website, I've got my IG, and find me on TikTok too. If you got ideas for dope content I can do, like I've been doing a lot of like kind of ballpark videos, but I don't want to like get known for just that. It's this tricky thing. Like I'm more than just an organist, you know, but you know, like I'll do whatever, man. Just hit me up.
You heard it here, Barry. He'll do whatever.
He's a San Diego organ, and he'll do whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
For 4 hours.
There you go.
Thank you very much, brother, for cruising in. We appreciate
Yes,
your
sir.
time,
Love you, my guy.
dog.
Love you
Hell
guys.
yeah, Barry. Hit that button.
Oh, that's how he's playing this song. Oh,